Hello guys! What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Sunday po sa bawat isa. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to our live stream. And there was a little bit of technicalities that happened. So medyo na delay tayo ng 2 minutes. Yeah, but it's still okay. So it's really amazing. Yeah, so it's really what is happening? Yeah, so my friend just sent me a screenshot about my live stream. Yeah, very interesting. So guys, kamusta ang bawat isa? I hope you're doing fine this week. So as you could see, I have my new hairstyle now. So yeah, very interesting. Like medyo mahirap magpagupit because I don't know kung anong hairstyle yung kailangan kong gawin or anong hairstyle yung kailangan kong gawin. It's very important for me to have my hair cut because it's really long already. So, there's already someone that is watching. One viewer. Hello. Comment down below. So guys, I'm just really happy because it's actually my second year here in Japan. Hello, Wen Shao. How are you? So it's actually my second year here in Japan this month. So I just turned my second year here in Japan, and it's really amazing. Like seeing a lot of things, like the culture here in Japan is really fascinating, and at the same time, like the people here are really amazing. And also like usually like when I was still in the Philippines, I don't usually do a lot of segregation, but that is one thing that I've learned here in Japan. It's very important that you need to know how to segregate stuff when it comes to your rubbish or your garbage, right? So I've decided to come here in Japan because Japan is really a country that I love the most ever since I was a kid. And at the same time, Japan for me is really an amazing country. Like it has four seasons and I've already experienced it twice in my life. So in the Philippines, we don't have any snow at all. But here in Japan, I've experienced snow a lot of times. Yeah, at first it was actually very exciting. Yeah, very interesting for me. I was really excited to see snow because in my country we don't have snow because my country is a tropical country. So basically in the Philippines we only have two weather or climate. Yeah. But here in Japan I was really amazed. Yeah. It's actually my first time to see snow and at the same time for me to experience autumn and also spring. What I love the most is the spring because it's really good. I love flowers. I mean, looking at the flowers is really fantastic. Hello, someone from Russia. Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for watching my live stream. And I really appreciate you coming to my channel and spending time with me right now. Thank you so much. Yeah, so guys, if you're actually planning to visit Japan, there are actually 50 things that you must do here in Japan. First, you should eat ramen. Oh wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. How do you want me to call you? Nothing extra. What is your Russian name? Yeah, so going back, first you need to climb Mount Fuji. That is one thing that you shouldn't miss here when you visit Japan, because as we all know that Mount Fuji is a perfect cone here in Japan, and it's actually registered as a UNESCO World Heritage. So it's very important that you should visit Mount Fuji. So you can actually find Mount Fuji at Shizuoka. That's in Yamanashi. Sorry. So that's in Shizuoka, Yamanashi. Yeah, and it's really beautiful. Yeah. Well, I'm doing good. What about you? I've been wanting to go to Russia, yeah, in maybe winter, because I've been seeing a lot of videos about Russia and it's really fascinating. I love your country and the place itself is really good. Yeah, so going back, Mount Fuji that everyone knows, it's really beautiful. So you should check it out when you visit Japan. And also one thing that I would also recommend is that when you visit Japan or like Mount Fuji, it's very important that you have tour there because it's really good. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I highly recommend that you book your tour with Klook. Yeah, they do have a lot of tours there, so it's really easy for you to tour around Japan by just using the tours via Klook. Yeah, I've seen Mount Fuji personally like twice already, and I could say that the mountain is really beautiful. It's really picturesque. Like every time I see the mountain, it reminded me of a perfect cone. Yeah, like in the Philippines, which is Mayon. Yeah, Mount Mayon. That is in the Philippines. Yeah, so it's really good. So basically, when you visit Mount Fuji, it's very recommended that you should go there probably around July to the middle of September if you are planning to climb. Yeah, because it's really good. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it's not good to go there around like winter time because usually snow there is really quite heavy. Yeah. But I highly recommend that you should take a snapshot, like check in a hotel wherein you can actually see the view of Mount Fuji at your back. Like it's really beautiful. And also one thing when you visit Japan, onsen is a must here. So it's like a public bath wherein people are enjoying themselves. Yeah, with family, sometimes just being alone. So yeah, also number two that you should do here in Japan is you should go to Arashiyama Monkey Park. So that's in Kyoto. So you should play with the monkeys there. So it's really beautiful. Like I remember when I went there last time, it's really beautiful and fascinating. Yeah. Monkeys here in Japan are really cute. What I know, if you go to Malaysia, they do have monkeys there as well. Yeah, but I think in Kyoto, when you go to Arashiyama, you can actually go to Monkey Park. Yeah, so you can actually play with 120 monkeys there. And since you're already in Tokyo, you can also visit Nara, wherein you can actually see some deers there. So it's really good. Yeah. So, guys, if you have any question for me, hashtag ask me anything. I would really love to answer that in terms of my life here in Japan. What are the things that I could recommend when you visit Japan? And at the same time, when you visit Japan, it's very important that you should know which month you should visit here because we do have like four season here: winter, spring, summer, and fall. So you should check it out first before coming here in Japan. But I highly recommend that you should visit like autumn, so that's around September, October. Yeah, because like the leaves here are really beautiful. Like it's my favorite season of the year. Winter is okay for first timers, but if you're actually living here for a long time, it's actually very difficult. Yeah, because it's really cold. Like most of the time, you really need to open your heater, and bills when it comes to that thing is really quite expensive. But yeah, that's why I really love autumn the most. Yeah, second would be I think I would consider spring. Yeah, because hanami, yeah, or sakura, yes, is really good. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, so going back, let's go to the third one. So you should try to go to karaoke here in Japan. Karaoke's here in Japan are really good. Yeah. So I've been to a karaoke here in Japan, I think maybe 5 times already with my friends and just by myself. Yeah. So in my country, usually people love to sing. That is why first thing that I did when I came here in Japan, like my first month, I went to a karaoke shop here. So it's really good. It's actually difficult to navigate like their karaoke's here, but in some karaoke's they do have like English translation, but in some karaoke's they don't have any English translation. Yeah, and usually when you go to a karaoke place, you go to their shop, and most of the time you go to a counter. So they will ask you like how long will you be staying there, how many people are with you, like that. If you're just alone, you need to pay by yourself. So each individual needs to pay a certain amount when they're entering a karaoke shop here in Japan. And one thing that you should take note is you need to order a drink every time you go to a karaoke shop here. So it's a must. Like I think it's like a combination, one person plus a drink. Yeah, you can't order just meal. It needs to be a drink. So we were actually surprised by that kind of system because in my country, when you go to a karaoke shop, yeah, so usually you just pay for a certain cubicle or just pay for a certain room. And like for example time zone, right? So to all my friends in the Philippines, they know about this one. Yeah, but here in Japan, it's like you need to order a drink. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, but what I love about karaoke's here in Japan is it's very unique. Like it's really high tech. When you enter a karaoke bar here in Japan, like the navigation of the remote control has a lot of buttons. Like you need to look at it like very carefully, like yeah. And you can actually adjust, like for example the echo, like same in my country too, yeah, but here they do have a lot of buttons that you need to press, something like that. Yeah, so most of the time people in Japan loved to sing. Yeah, so it's kind of like for them to release their stress from work, because culture of Japanese people most of the time is they value work, they value time, they're very punctual when it comes to time, and they give importance to their work all the time. So it's kind of like when they're working, they're really focused on what they're doing, and at the same time when they're working, they need to put all of their efforts in what they're doing. Yeah, so what else? All right. So going back when it comes to karaoke, so it's kind of like very interesting too. Yeah, to experience that. So I've experienced going to karaoke with friends and just by myself. So I would say that it's really good if you go there with some of your friends. Yeah. All right, so let's go to number four. So you should ride the Shinkansen. So what is the Shinkansen? So in English, it's a bullet train. In Japanese, that's Shinkansen. So usually in Japan, it's very easy. There's like an easy access to go like going to different places. It's very easy and it's very accessible for you to visit places here in Japan. Just use their subway, express train, local trains, or Shinkansen or bullet train. You can actually go from north, east, south, west. That's how efficient their transportation is here in Japan. But the thing is, when you ride the Shinkansen here in Japan, it's actually quite pricey. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, but it's really fast. Like I've experienced riding a Shinkansen for like 5 times already. Yeah, usually when I go to Tokyo for training, yeah, most of the time the company pays for my transportation, so I always take the Shinkansen going to Tokyo whenever they needed to send me for training and stuff like that. Yeah. All right. All right, so I'm gonna wait for some viewers. Yeah. So far, hello, hello, hello. Yeah, so we have one viewer tonight. Hello to my viewer. How are you? Hope you're doing fine tonight. Say something on the comment section. Thank you. All right, so going back, like what I was talking earlier about the Shinkansen, it's very fast. Like there is like what they call Shinkansen or bullet train here. So one thing that I would suggest if you wanted to try Shinkansen here in Japan, I recommend that you should book your Shinkansen pass via Klook, because they do offer a good deal when it comes to passes. Like they do have like 7 passes there via Klook, and it's actually very good. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, so you could actually have a lot of discounts when you book your tours using Klook. Yeah, so that is one thing that I would recommend when you visit Japan. So please ride the Shinkansen for experience. For example, if you wanted to go to Tokyo and then you wanted to move, for example, like Sendai or Morioka or Akita, yeah, so you could actually take Shinkansen. Yeah, it's really convenient and it's very efficient. And at the same time, like riding a Shinkansen or riding a Shinkansen is really good. Mm-mm-mm. All right. So also when you visit Japan, don't miss out Shibuya. Yes. And magkaroon kayo ng picture with Hachiko, because Hachiko is really famous there in Shibuya. That's actually in Tokyo, and nearby you can actually walk. And if you wanted to see Shinjuku, so they do offer a lot of things there, especially for foreign people. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, so first time I went here in Japan, like my first 3 months, I immediately went to Tokyo because I wanted to see Hachiko, like the famous dog who waited for his owner for like a long time. Yeah, so remarkable na yon si Hachiko dito sa Japan. And every time you talk about Hachiko, yeah, so Japanese people know about that dog, that very loyal dog. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so also, if you try to visit Japan, you should actually check out Pachinko Slat. Pachinko. So I'm gonna write it down. Pachinko. Pachinko. Yes, Pachinko slot. So this is like a game where silver balls are used for like from a gun and you try to get as many silvers. Yeah, so in a specific lot slots. Yeah, so usually people who love to play like gambling. I wouldn't say that it's gambling, but it's a, a slot. Yeah, pachinko slot. So it's kind of like a casino. Yeah, but usually people play there to have fun and to enjoy their time. Yeah, I've never played in a pachinko. Yeah, but it's actually very famous here. If you're into like casinos and stuff, you can actually go to Vegas slot of Japan, which is a pachinko. Yeah, so usually people go there on weekends. Yeah, so medyo crowded siya over the weekend. Yeah, and people smoke there too. So if you don't like the smell of cigarette or nicotine, I don't recommend you visiting. I don't recommend you to visit pachinko, but just for experience, right? Yeah, so it's kind of like if you have extra time here in Japan while visiting Japan, yeah, you can check out pachinko slot. Yes, and also number seven, yeah, I recommend that you should eat ramen. So they do have like different ramen here in Japan. Yeah, so my favorite is shoyu ramen. So what is shoyu? Shoyu is like soy sauce. Yeah, so it's really good, and they do have different kinds of ramens here. Like the broth is really good. Yeah, when it comes to ramen here, they do have wide variety of ramen here all throughout Japan. You go to Okinawa, you go to Sendai, you go to Tokyo, Osaka, Nara. Yeah, like everywhere in Japan, you can actually see a ramen shop here. One ramen restaurant that I would recommend is Ippudo. Yeah, that's really good. It's really, really, really good. Yeah, I love eating at Ippudo because it's really good. But the thing is, it's a bit pricey. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, and also if you visit like a bookstore here in Japan, you can actually see a magazine about ramen. So they do offer like magazines about ramens here, and before you go to a ramen shop, you can actually check that magazine first in order for you to choose which is like the best. Mm-mm-mm. So Ippudo is like the name of the restaurant. Yes. Mm. Yeah, so there are so many things that you can actually do here in Japan. So if you're into nature, you can actually do a lot of trekking. Yes. If you're into arts, they do have a lot of calligraphy here. Yeah, if you love gadgets or cameras, you can actually go to Akihabara, which is the electronic central here in Japan. You can actually find Akihabara that's in Tokyo. So they do offer a lot of gadgets there, electronics, devices, and stuff. So it's actually very beautiful. All right, let's go on to the next one. So, also, if you are planning to visit Japan, don't miss out on the castle. So, I've been to a lot of castles here in Japan, and I would say that one castle that I love the most is in Osaka. So, they do have a good castle there. Also in Nagoya. Yeah, so one castle that I love the most is the Himeji. So it's kind of like structures from over 400 years ago. So it's really beautiful. I highly recommend that you should visit Himeji, that castle. Yeah. All right. So another thing that I would recommend when you visit Japan is you should wear a kimono. Yeah, kimono is one famous traditional dress here in Japan. So most of the time tourists love to wear kimono. So especially for girls because they can actually fix their hair and stuff like that. But for men, we can actually just wear a normal kimono. So it actually depends on the style and the color. So they do have different kinds of style when it comes to kimono. They do have different kinds of color when it comes to kimono. So the staff can actually help you to choose which is the best for you. So yeah. All right. So, also, if you're planning to visit Japan, I recommend Harajuku. So, Harajuku Takeshita Street is in Tokyo. So, there's actually tons of tourists there, like bustling with crowds of people. Yeah, so if you're into fashion, yeah, you should go to Harajuku or Ginza. So Ginza is actually like a sophisticated area of Japan, especially in Tokyo area. So Ginza is well known to have luxurious shops, like for watches, for bags, even for clothing line. You can actually find good deals there. But it's actually quite pricey, but it's actually very famous there. And I've experienced my first time coming here in Japan like around May. They actually close some areas in Ginza. Yeah, so it's actually like a heaven. They call it like heaven. I actually forgot the term, but yeah, something like with heaven. So very nice. Yeah, and here in Japan, you can actually go to secondhand street shops. So I would recommend check out Book Off, Mode Off, Hard Off, Secondhand Street. Um, those shops because they do offer like good clothes there. So it's actually very affordable. Mm. So every time I buy my like let's say like coat or jackets, I usually go there. So most of the time, yung name tags nila is really good. Can actually find a good deal there when it comes to coats or jackets, even suits, like different kinds of clothing. So yeah, you can actually find like pants, even shoes. Yeah, at a lower price, of course. Usually, the price ranges from 500 yen. That's the lowest amount, but sometimes you can actually see 300 yen. Yeah, so it depends on the quality, yeah, and the brand itself. So sometimes you can actually see signature clothes there. For example, like Lacoste, Nike, different kinds of clothing line. But don't expect that it's gonna be cheap. So um all right. So going back, if you're into fashion, you can actually find good deals there, like book off, mode off, hard off. So I usually go to those shops because I can't afford to buy like signature clothing. So medyo pricey siya for me. And one thing na notice ko dito sa Japan is that when you go to those secondhand shops, usually makikita mo na nakaset na talaga eh. Like for example, if you're looking for pants, you can actually see different kinds of pants in those secondhand street shops. So I usually buy my pants there, but Uniqlo and GU is actually a good clothing shop here too. They do have like prices like lower price at a certain amount. Mm. So hello, hello guys, kamusta po? How are you? O genki desu ka? 감사합니다. So different languages. Yeah, so going back, if you're planning to visit Japan, I recommend that you should go to Harajuku Takeshita Street. So that's in Tokyo. Sawadee ka. Hello, how are you? So currently I'm talking about things to do here in Japan. So thank you so much for watching my live stream. All right, so guys, you can actually ask me questions. Hashtag ask me tonight. Yeah, so going back, there. Again, I would like to say, if you love to experience a Japanese culture, you should actually rent a kimono. So, what is kimono? So, kimono is traditional Japanese clothing here. So, you can actually rent in some shops, but I highly recommend that you should do it via Klook because they do offer a good deals there. So, thanks to Klook. Yeah. All right. So moving forward. So also one thing that you should also experience when you visit Japan is a soba making. So it's very unique to do a soba making. Yeah. Usually, if you go to places like Fukui, yes. So that's actually here in Japan. So you can actually experience to do soba. Yeah, so they do have like different kinds of noodles here. They do have like udon, they do have like soba. So it depends. Udon is like a thick one, and soba is like a very thin noodles. Yeah, so I love both. Yeah, for me, it's actually very good. Mm, yeah. So usually, like a Japanese style of eating the soba is you actually dip the noodles into the broth. Yeah, it's actually very famous for Japanese people, even for tourists as well. So you can try making those and then eat the soba for yourself. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Also, one thing that I love about Japan is that they do have like cold noodles here, especially for summer season. So I went to Nagoya last year. Yeah, I went there and it's actually very interesting to see how Aichi made their ramen. They do have like different approach, like how they make the ramen there, and it's really good. I would say that it's really good. All right, so I'll be back. I'll just drink some water, guys. And I'm back with my new hair. All right, so going back, let's talk about food. Mm. So one thing that I love the most is takoyaki. So you can actually find the best takoyaki in Osaka. So if you go to the Tombori, yeah, you can actually find one of the best takoyakis there. And also, if you plan to visit Osaka, I highly recommend that you should go um to Tenkaku. So Chutenkaku, you can actually find like good food there as well, even okonomiyaki. So okonomiyaki, yes. So it's actually very good. Like the first time I tried okonomiyaki, so it's kind of like with egg and meat and some veggies, and they actually mix it and stir it, and it looks like a pancake to me, but it's really good. There's so many things that you can actually do here in Japan, especially in Osaka. Yeah, Osaka is known to have comedians, so if you are planning to go there, expect that people are gonna be very talkative with you, and very straightforward as well. They do love to laugh a lot in Osaka. So I remember Osaka is almost like similar with Korea. Like if you go to Myeongdong, like they do have like stalls, like different kinds of food there, like in Korea. So I would say that they're actually close. Like if I would compare Myeongdong and Osaka, I love both. Yeah. So it depends on where you wanted to go. If you wanted to go to Korea, check Myeongdong. If you wanted to go to Osaka, check Dotonbori. Mm. Yeah, and usually, like if you buy takoyaki, the price is around 680 yen for 8 pieces, but it depends on how many do you want it to eat. Mm. They do serve like 15, 12. It depends. They put it in a big box. Yeah. Yeah. Also, one thing that you should experience is riding a crowded train. That is actually in Tokyo. So, in some places like countryside, we don't experience things like that. Oh, hello. 감사합니다. So usually, how are you? I'll see you in a while. All right. So usually the trains at 7 a.m. are called manindensha. So it means severely packed train. So oh, nice to hear that. So usually, going back, so if you try to ride trains in Tokyo, usually around around 7 a.m. They're called manindensha. So what is manindensha? So in English, it's like severely packed train. So for Japan, salarymen are very respected here. So but you can't do anything about that one. Usually in Tokyo. That's why it's actually very hard for you as a tourist if you try to ride that certain time. But if you go to Shibuya, they do have a lot of trains there. Like every 3 minutes, a train is coming. Yeah. So that's very common. So like daily occurrence. Yeah. But for those who are visiting for the first time, it's actually gonna be shocking. Like they will be very culture shocked with that kind of thing, like that kind of system. But it's very common in Tokyo. So don't join the people during rush hour. It's not a good timing for you guys. Go there early. Sometimes subways and local train opens around 5 a.m. or 5:10 sometimes. Usually the last train is around 12. It depends. Like I have a friend who lives in Fukushima. City is in Koriyama. They don't have any local trains there. Usually they use local bus. So it depends on which city. Yeah. Bro, what is Mungdong? Myeongdong. Myeongdong. Am I correct? Yeah, Myeongdong. I love Myeongdong. I love eating tteokbokki. All right. So for those people who love to, let's say, liquors or beer, one thing that I would recommend is shochu. Yeah, I don't drink, but I've been hearing a lot of things about shochu. So it spells as shochu. So it's actually made from ingredients like barley, potatoes, what else? Like rice. Yeah, so that's how it is. So it depends on the shochu. Yeah. Mm-mm. But it's actually good for alcohol lovers. So I recommend that. And after you have like nomikai. So nomikai is like drinking party with friends here in Japan. You should go to a ramen shop. So that's how they do it sometimes. Yeah. So next, let's talk about sumo wrestling. So here in Japan, sumo wrestling is actually quite famous. So you can actually watch a live sumo wrestling. So that's their national sport here. So, but it's actually famous all over the world now. Like they're actually very big. I've never been to a sumo wrestling stage yet, but maybe this year. I hope I could visit a sumo wrestling place this year. All right. So, guys, you can actually ask me questions. Let's talk about the trains here in Japan. So usually it's not 24 hours. So it depends on, again, like the city, or it depends on which area. Like, for example, in Tokyo, I think the last train is 1 p.m. and then it operates around 5 again. So it depends. Here in my area, last train is around 12:05. Yeah, but in some areas like very countryside, let's say Akita or Morioka, let's say like those area, sometimes very early and they don't have that much local train or subway there. What they do have are buses, local bus and highway bus. And when we talk about transportation here in Japan, you can actually choose from, let's say, like trains, like taxis, buses, subways. Mm-mm-mm. But I don't recommend taxi unless you are drinking with friends. Yeah, because taxis here are quite pricey. It's actually quite pricey. Yeah. All right, so moving forward, so if you are planning to go here in Japan and you're actually on a budget, I would recommend that you should go shopping at a convenience store. So you can actually find good bento meals there. What is bento? It's like packed lunch. So you can actually find bentos here, or cup noodles, or let's say like dim sums, like hot buns. They do have that here, and also oden. So oden is like shabu shabu. So what is shabu shabu? It's kind of like mix of egg, daikon, like radish. Yes, sausages. So what else? Like noodles. Yeah. So it's like hot pot. Mm. It's very cheap too. So we do have like 7-Eleven here, major convenience stores, or 7-Eleven, Family Mart, Lawson. We do have mini stop here as well. Daily, Yamazaki, New Days as well. So we do have like six, if I'm not mistaken. Yun yung naalala ko, like six convenience store. Usually, you can see New Days sa mga stations. Yeah. All right, so let's go back with convenience stores here in Japan. So, one thing that I love about convenience stores here in Japan is that you can actually find tons of things here, from drinks to office supplies, even photocopy machines. You can actually find it here. So, also with different kinds of coffees like ice cream. Yeah. So usually 7-Eleven is very good when it comes to lunch, pack lunch, and Lawson is very good with naturals. Yeah. When it comes to chickens, I would recommend Family Mart. Yeah, they call their chicken Famichiki. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so I've actually made a vlog about 7-Eleven, so you can actually watch it. All right, so moving forward, one thing that you shouldn't miss when you visit Japan is, of course, sushi. Yeah, so I recommend that you should go to a sushi conveyor belt, or kaiten sushi. They call it kaiten sushi here in Japan. So it's kind of like a bullet train wherein like They serve different kinds of sushi there. It's rolled, sometimes it's with rice, like that. Hello, Alvin. How are you? Good evening and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so going back, I was talking about kaiten sushi. So here in Japan, kaiten sushi is actually quite famous, especially if you go to places like Tokyo or Osaka. You can actually find a kaiten sushi shop or conveyor sushi belt. Yes, so it's actually very famous both for the locals and the tourists. Yeah, it's like one piece of sushi is around 108 yen, but it depends on the color of the plate. So they do have sometimes like blue, red, brown, even white or yellow, or sometimes there's like green. So it depends on the plate that you're getting. So those, sure. What is it? Right, and in some kaiten sushi, they do serve like wines as well, and even beers as well. So it depends on which kaiten sushi. Ah, are you talking about coffee shops or coffees for like the normal one, like what you can find at the convenience store? Usually, if you go to a coffee shop here, sometimes the price is around 500 yen. Sometimes there is like 300 yen. But if you go to a convenience store, it's like 200 yen for a normal coffee. Yeah, so famous coffee shops here are Weshima, Starbucks, of course, Dotor, what else? Cafe de France, Via de France, yes. What else are famous here? I think those are major coffee shops here in Japan. Yeah, and sometimes they do serve like set already, like there is sandwich and a coffee, or if you don't like coffee, you can actually change it to a hot chocolate. Yeah. But I would say that coffees here in Japan are very good. Yeah, very, very delicious. I am not a coffee drinker, but I've tried some. It's actually very good. The way they make their coffee is actually very nice. Yeah. And if you go to shops like Caldi's or Jupiter's, yeah, it's actually very good. They can actually give you a bean of coffee and they will grind it for you. It's really good. All right, so moving forward, let's talk about capsule hotel here in Japan. So capsule hotels here in Japan are really quite famous. So I've been there once. I would say that if you're a big person, yeah, if you're a big person, I wouldn't recommend you checking in a capsule hotel. But for me, like I'm not so big. It's actually good and it's actually not so expensive. Yeah, usually the price is around 2,880 yen. Mm. That's with like for with breakfast. I don't know, maybe like for big people they feel like they're gonna be having claustrophobic or stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, so capsule hotels. Yeah, so it's actually not very narrow, I would say. Mm-mm-mm. It's not really narrow, but I would say like capsule hotels here in Japan are like normal size for Japanese people. But a lot of tourists are actually trying that, especially Asian people. From which country are you from, Alvin? Oh, you're from the Philippines. Okay. I think you're gonna be fine. That's good. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so let's talk about tempura. So in Japan, they call it like ebi. So ebi in English is shrimp. So in Japanese, that's ebi. Yeah, so it's actually a typical dish here in Japan. So when eaten together with the soba, like what I told earlier, it's actually very good. But I actually recommend it like with tendon. So very nice. Yeah. The way they make tempura here is really good. I wish they have like tempura buffet here or something. It's really good. Yeah. All right. So next one is dollar shop here in Japan or 100 yen shop. So we do have like Seria here and Daiso. So Daiso is one of my favorite 100 yen shop here. Why? Because they do have very good products there that are actually cheap. For example, if you're planning to buy like souvenirs, you can actually drop by at Daiso and they you can actually find different kinds of souvenirs there, like from keychains, magnets, even towels, like utensils, even bath goods. You can actually find good ones. Yeah, even face masks and stuff like those. Actually, find one. All right, so there are so many things that you can actually do here in Japan, but my last advice is you read the manga at the manga cafe. So Manga Kisa is very famous. Yeah, you can actually find one in Tokyo. Mm. So you can read as much manga as you can. Yeah, it's very nice too. So I hope you can visit Japan one day. I hope that you could consider Japan as part of your bucket list in the future, right? And also, if you're planning to visit Japan, I recommend that you should go to Sapporo, especially around Feb, because they do have snow festival there in Hokkaido. Yeah, so it's very good. They do showcase their craft when it comes to making ice. So every year, over 2 million or let's say 3 million tourists visit Sapporo. Yeah, because it's actually a worldwide famous event in Japan and worldwide. Yeah. So it's kind of like ice sculpture with it, which is really good. All right, guys. So thank you so much, guys, for watching my vlog. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. And guys, please continue to support my channel. And I really appreciate your comments. It really means a lot to me. It really mean the world to me. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope to see you again soon. And when you visit Japan, so just don't forget to give me a message. So thank you so much, guys, and see you.